Yeah.
It's happening.
It's happening. Team,
Oh man.
we're
Well,
here.
Let's
welcome
go,
We
to
go, go,
made
go,
it.
go, 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 go. And we are
we are
live.
live. Welcome, Adapt fam. It's happening. It's happening. It's time
Special
to.
guest of Ivan on Tech Impersonator today.
Hey, I mean,
Coffee
yeah, I know.
notebook.
We had talked about doing like a YouTube influencer compilation, right?
Yeah, just
Some
kind of doing our
impersonations.
fun little impressions, impersonations, all in jest, but sometimes they can be spookily accurate. You never know.
Well, that's the trouble with being an influencer or a brand of any kind. You kind of have to do the same thing over and over again to develop said brand, but then you get really easy to make fun of.
Mm,
It's a
mm.
double-edged sword. How's everybody doing out there? How you guys doing this morning?
Yeah, good mate. Went to work and I was looking at Bitcoin's price and I saw it got rejected at 50K. And yeah, that's going to be sort of like a little bit of our topic, but there's not a lot happening from the wider crypto market sort of space. There's no extreme news, and there's a
Mm.
few little funny articles that we have that we can sort of cover. But it might be an opportunity for maybe us to engage with our community today. So if you do have the questions, we might have a bit of extra time to do a bit of extra research and sort of talk about whatever you guys sort of want to talk about. But what I have here in front of us, we have the crypto market and a relatively green day. And what you're really looking at is probably that bit the bounce back from what happened yesterday, right? Where we've had everything sort of come back. There are some outliers. We have Atom. That one was bound to sort of boom today. Digibyte was the same. They started a new marketing campaign.
Digibyte. I
Um,
don't get Digibyte. Sorry, guys. I don't understand them. Why
yeah,
do they
it's
have all the memes? Like, why every time I'm in Telegram, I search for Bitcoin memes and gives me Digibyte memes? Like, do you understand
uh,
that? I
no, I don't think so. And I should because I have miners mining Digibyte, and it's the most
Oh,
depressing
really?
coin I've
You
ever.
have a Digibyte miner? What are you?
Yeah, yeah, I got a few of them actually,
Multiple
and
Digibyte miners. Okay. Hey,
Digi
why not? To each his own
Digibytes.
miner, you know?
Sure, okay.
Yeah, yeah. In hindsight, it's a powerful thing, isn't it? When if I had to just put the money straight into Bitcoin when I got in, I could have, six x my investment rather than mining some Shat coin.
Yeah.
But going off, I shouldn't say Shatcoin. Maybe they'll do something. We're still waiting for them to sort of develop, a real use case. They need more development on their chain, and they definitely have that potential, right? But I will
Mm.
say ICX had some really good news today. We had, and now, sorry, PCX. What is PCX? PCX had some really good news today where it looks like they're going to definitely get their own parachain, which is really exciting, or get on the parachain.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, Polkadot
uh,
needs ChainX. It's a really important chain, actually. Few understand ChainX, I have
Few,
the feeling.
few.
Very few. Looking at ChainX, guys, that's sort of what we're saying. Not financially, not in a financially advised kind of way, just in a friendly research. Like, I don't know. We're like
we're, we're
a
just here to
club of
keep you
like,
informed.
we,
We're
we tell you what to
educators.
Google just as a Google fun game. It's not a financial game.
Yes, all content on this channel is for educational purposes only.
Yes. But ChainX, though, seriously, guys, I feel like people have been talking about that for over a year, and it's still like on the floor because it's difficult to acquire. But
Mm.
yeah, ChainX, I believe in it.
Yeah, I'd love for them to sort of get on a new exchange. Like Hotbit and Gate just don't really do it for me.
Mm.
And it's a project I've been trying to get into for a while, and I don't like putting my information out on the wider web. So yeah, if I can minimize how many exchanges I'm on, yeah, it's better. And I just wish they were on a decentralized exchange, and maybe they
Yeah.
are. I don't think they're on Uniswap, but
No, well,
definitely.
They can't be. Yeah, that's the
that
problem.
that's
Mm,
sort of why I think I would believe in them long term, because a lot of these a lot of like fakers are just releasing ERC20 tokens and saying they're going to be on
mm,
the Polkadot network, and they're saying, oh, we're just going to shift over when it gets ready or whatever. But a lot of those
mm.
coins and those projects aren't actually planning on doing that, and they don't have a Web3 grant, and they don't have the support to actually get an actual parachain. But somebody like ChainX, I think, has been developing on Substrate and the whole platform since the very beginning. So it's made them hard to get, but it's also made them real because I
Mm.
think it is very different actually developing on Substrate. I'm not a developer, so somebody else would have to speak to that. But
Oh,
I'm
you're
pretty sure
not.
it's very
Oh,
different than just throwing in something into Solidity. And
could
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
be.
kind of getting down to I mean, obviously I'm not a developer either, or else I'd be doing something else with my life. But I mean, from what I understand, I have been doing, my due diligence and some research. Substrate, like the whole Polkadot ecosystem, it is a higher barrier for entry because, it hasn't been around as long. The programming language is newer, and there's not as much support out there in terms of development or tool suites, whatever you want to call it,
Mm.
to really run this language in a virtual environment like you would have with Solidity.
Yeah, so it's
Mm.
obviously not just going to be for everybody. And yeah, no, I would encourage everybody to, when you're researching Polkadot projects, because they're just getting so much hype these days, to see if they're actually doing any work on Substrate or the actual sort of Polkadot network. Because, yeah, if they're thinking about just starting to do that when the network actually comes out, then they're probably going to be too late. And yeah, there's obviously ways you can operate on the Polkadot network without having a parachain, but obviously the ones with the parachain are the ones we're sort of more hyped about in a non-financial advice kind of way.
Yeah. So yeah, Will's just asked a few questions there. Yeah, maybe when Europe wakes up, I've never been one to rely on Europe personally to
I
pump the
wouldn't.
price. It's either
I
America or
wouldn't.
China, but but they might. I dare say they have the money for it in some parts. And did you get? No, I haven't received the Superfarm NFTs. I think they've only done the uncommons, and they'll be doing the rares soon. So most of my bids are on the rares. I had a couple of epics bids as well. But we'll see what we get, mate. Did you get one? Were you lucky enough to get some of the uncommons at this stage? But if you haven't, then there's still hope. We're still waiting for them to sort of go through it all. So do not stress. Alrighty, let's go. Did you guys get any NFTs there?
No.
No. You sounded so sippy.
uh,
That's fine. It's up the mood a little bit. So actually, this isn't really going to up the mood. We have Ethereum sort of lagging. Look, there's still enough hype in Ethereum. There's still a well overused chain, but we're definitely seeing the gas effect start to take the toll on DeFi within on the Ethereum network. I'm not saying DeFi is everyone's dumping, but what I'm saying is the progression. People a lot more hesitant now to put money into on the Ethereum network because if they ever wanted to sell, it's not worth selling because the transaction fee is so high, especially when Ethereum is moving quite very quickly. So that
mm.
Mars trip, like any good trader will do, I'll probably end up having to just move my Mars target across, but I will keep you updated live with that one.
Well,
Um,
it's sort of like a real space mission where things just sort of get delayed and then pushed 10 years into the future. I'm hoping not 10 years into the future that we
Please no.
reach that Mars area, because what Mars is only around
20,
2050.
yeah,
Yeah.
about 20.
I mean, you guys can say that. I still think we're hitting Mars very, very soon.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
so too.
I'm just saying that it's more just delayed at the moment because the utility, the transactions isn't picking up as much as what some of the other chains are. like Binance and even Cardano. I saw some. I have to confirm this, but Cardano. I'm not saying it's used like you'd see on Ethereum. Like there, I'm just saying there's a lot of activity and purchasing from what I could see. So I found that very interesting. I need to do a bit of a deep dive on that one before I, start talking too much about Cardano. But Bitcoin dominance, look, nothing too exciting here either. Alt's still flourishing, so I won't dwell on that too much. But here's, the XRP army. I don't know how they sort of, still keep hyping this coin as if it's gonna. That's the sound. I don't know why they keep hyping this coin, because there's so much. It's such a a long history of betrayal within XRP with the escrow and they've been talking about banks are going to use it. Yeah, maybe, but when? It's. I'm not saying the liars. I'm saying they don't tell the truth. And
very important distinction here, guys.
Yeah, and XLM right here is previous. Jed McCaleb. He was the co-founder of XRP and left because he had differences in where he wanted to take the project. He's happily dumping his Shatcoin bag and in large quantities. In fact, at 76.3 million. From his taco stand wallet.
Yeah, what's with the taco stand reference?
He must have. It must have just called his wallet that. You can. I'm pretty sure you can name yourself on the Ethereum.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Scan. So
he gave himself a custom name.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Actually, no, sorry, not Ethereum. Whatever
XRP chain.
I have on XRP garbage. But shout out to maybe they're not garbage. Maybe I'll bite my tongue some other time. But speaking of stats, here's a quick poll. Plan B. He asked what everyone's thoughts are for Bitcoin. What price target will they reach before the end of the year? And most people put on 100,000, and maybe that's more of a near-sighted. Maybe they didn't read December 2021. They just wanted to think what's more likely, and maybe they don't think it'll get to 300,000. But 100K, people saying most likely. And I think that's a psychological goal in most traders' minds at the moment, because I have spoken to a few friends who have been in the space a lot longer than I have. And I say, would you sell your Bitcoin if it reached 100K? And everyone said, most of them that I spoke to said, yeah, 100% I would. I know there's a bit of context, if it went up to 100K tomorrow, everyone would sell because I know it would come back down, right? But I think what I'm trying to say is that 100K is that next psychological barrier that people are waiting for. Although 50K seems to be putting up a bit of a fight at the moment.
Yeah, but adding on that extra digit, that's gonna blow everybody's minds. That will be some news articles for sure, and I'm sure there will be a lot of limit orders set at that number.
Yeah, and in fact, actually, if it were to, I'm just thinking, I'm pretty sure around the 130,000 mark, it'll be the highest market cap asset in the world. So because I'm pretty sure Apple is 2.3 trillion from memory. And obviously Bitcoin's sitting around 860 billion at the moment. So it needs to bit more than 2x, and it could be literally, geez, I bet you people will, well, look, I think people will FOMO to cryptocurrency in general. Once they see that it's the most valued asset in the world, people still have this weird thing where they think Bitcoin is too expensive. Whatever, cool, good for them.
You have to remember that most people don't actually look at the charts. They do only listen to this garbage, confusing news that gets pushed out, trying to manipulate you basically into buying at the wrong time. And then that's all they go off.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
No, shouldn't let
weekends be shook.
Yeah.
But
weekends getting shook out right now.
Can you explain ChainX like a ChainX for dummies? Has anyone done in-depth research on ChainX yet? What I will say, Crypto Gucci, I'm about to do a lot of research into ChainX. I am actually pretty excited into doing a deep dive onto them. And will most likely provide some sort of content specifically for them. But I don't want to short change what ChainX is or what they're doing at the moment, unless any of you guys are well across what they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's really yeah. I mean, we should definitely save something for a deep dive, but it's really like this critical part of the Polkadot narrative that we'll be able to have atomic swaps and cross chain interoperability. One of my favorite phrases I learned this year.
Can
But
I give you
basically,
guys the? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, no, it's basically, yeah, figuring out a layer two solution so Bitcoin and everybody else can easily, very rapidly be used on the Polkadot chain. It's this mythical layer two that never seems to materialize, but it is something ChainX has been working on for quite some time. But yeah, wait, what do you got, Bender?
Well, let me give you the explain it like I'm five version. Do you know what Ren protocol is?
Hmm.
Ren. So
I've heard
Ren
of
we
Ren,
have
yes.
with Ethereum, and that ports different blockchain assets, native assets, onto Ethereum. With
Yeah,
ChainX, it's basically the same thing, but for Polkadots. You get
yeah,
to port different blockchain assets like Bitcoin directly onto Polkadot.
yeah.
And they'll be polka wrapped.
Yeah, so you get your Polka Bitcoin, whatever you want to call it.
It'll be
P,
PBTC,
yeah,
surely.
PBTC. Hopefully that's the one. I think there is one that's PBTC already. Not the
Okay.
same, but it's gonna be big.
Yeah,
PBBCB.
I
Okay.
think they will be too. Like Ren's a good benchmark, so you can sort of determine what sort of market cap you can sort of expect and what sort of usage there will be for ChainX. So it's always good to have some benchmarks, although it's even better to be first in the space, right? But as an investor, at least you have like a gauge as to what sort of utility or use case these
Yeah.
cryptocurrencies have.
We
But I
we
haven't. I've done.
yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to finish. I haven't done. I haven't updated myself on their new developments yet, and that's what I really want to get into because I know something's brewing, and we just sort of tasted it today with their Parachain announcement, from my understanding. So yeah,
Mm. No, we really should go through all the coins that are being listed on the Polkadot network as having parachains because it's just really funny in this space about what projects get hype. Certain projects decide to spend a bunch of money on marketing, basically, and then you hear a bunch about them. And then other projects are a little more focused on the development, I'm guessing, and aren't as worried about pushing it out there. So yeah, the actual awesomeness of any coin, especially in the Polkadot network, is not directly related to how much you're hearing about that project, and is also not a direct sort of comparison of how hard it's going to moon, especially once this whole thing goes live. So, yeah, I think it is important to just look through the Parachain network and see who's on there and what the project is doing because a bunch of them are super awesome and they're not there's not many people talking about them, and that's so now is your chance basically to get in early. Not financial advice.
yeah. Just thinking about that quote where you said interoperability seems to be like the key phrase at the moment. It is very important. It's like that. I can't remember where I heard it, but it's nobody likes that kid that has his own toys and play and won't share them with everyone else. So it's the same with these networks. If they can't talk to each other, then nobody really wants to be limited to. Nobody wants to play with that little child with his own little toy there.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. The whole parachain is very exclusive. Actually, it's an interesting new world in crypto. I mean, I don't know. I guess we can't. It's inevitable to head in that direction because networks are getting crowded. Um, but I did want to spread a little FUD just because I don't know. Is it helpful? Is it not helpful?
Absolutely, I love a bit of a chuckle. Like what my key article today was XRP and more dumping. So
Yeah, no, and
a bit of fun.
maybe I guess it's trade. Most of trading is psychology, and not to make light of any sort of abuse victims, but sometimes when the coin or the leaders of the project keep abusing you, it only draws you further into the project, depending on your psychology. But Yeah, I did want to talk about this verge of disaster. The verge of disaster.
What the hell?
So yeah, I don't know if there are any XVG holders out there, but XVG suffered a significant block reorganization, replacing transactions dating as far back as July 2020. And so this is, I guess, a cautionary tale for any sort of non-Ethereum blockchains out there. If you really are trying to like make your own blockchain, there are a bunch of things that can go wrong. Probably even if you did good development and everything. So, yeah,
That's interesting
XVG.
you say that. It's because a lot of things historically have gone wrong with most of the blockchains. In fact, Chico Crypto done a very good video on it. I think it was over last night, and he talked about like all the all the hacks and exploits that have been on the blockchains, not just cryptocurrencies and within DeFi, right? So yeah, these ones are more significant. But Bitcoin had one back in the day where you could essentially find there was a way to sort of mint more Bitcoin, and luckily it was found within, I think it was within 90 minutes of it happening, and they were able to patch it over. But there could have been 184 billion Bitcoin. XLM was another one. I can't remember the rest, but these blockchains as they're developing, there is still a lot of risk. It's such a new space, and these things can happen, and that's why you've got to really assess the teams. Are they doing their due diligence? Are they back testing? Are they doing those extra checks to safe proof their technology? Sorry, Mosh.
Yeah, no worries. So this one, yeah, it's something, the mythical double spend, something we've been hearing about and worrying about, and for with Bitcoin and other blockchains. But this apparently did actually happen on the XVG chain. Somebody managed to figure out how to double spend, and that instantly vaporized like 560,000 blocks of their blockchain. And so a lot of people that bought this token after July 2020, their balances were completely evaporated. So this really is like sort of a nightmare scenario, especially if it was a more like larger blockchain like Bitcoin or something like that. You would see absolute pandemonium. I think there just weren't that many XVG holders out there. So we're not seeing the insane outcry. But I mean, if you could picture, could you picture your Bitcoin balance getting evaporated? Every Bitcoin you bought after July 2020, there would just be, I feel like that would be World War III right there. That would just be the beginning.
Yeah, I'd cry. I'm pretty open about I'm pretty
Just
safe
straight
about
up
my
cry.
manhood. But I'd definitely cry. That'd destroy any person.
Yeah. So that's a little depressing. Just to bring it back around though, it looks like Mr. Gene Simmons, famous old dude that was in Kiss, is come out as a crypto supporter. Yeah, and I'm guessing even with this dip and all the FUD and the danger of 50K or to be or not to be 50K, there still is insane bullishness just all around fundamentally. It's easy to forget that instantly as soon as we drop like $5, but the institutions didn't sell all the Bitcoin, and these celebrities are getting into it more and more. So Gene Simmons, obviously there's a lot of Kiss fans out there. And he revealed that he's holding the top couple, which was interesting here. He says he's holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Binance Coin. So Gene Simmons
Okay.
is about to go hard on the DGen Binance chain plays. So, right, you don't know what other people's strategy is like. It's just very interesting to see this support for Binance chain coming out from the Kiss man himself. And he's saying he's a hodler of Binance Coin. Like, I don't know. The game is changing so fast. You guys got to keep up. Kiss guy's got Binance Chain Coin. How do you not?
Is he? And is he? Is this just a poor wording? Is he just got a Binance account and he's got coins on it, or is he actually holding BNB? Um,
That's a good question. That's a good question. We'd have to
yeah,
pull up
I
his
just
actual
I
tweet.
just I just question the terminology that some people use because they don't understand it. So they Sometimes
Oh,
you just throw a few
well,
words
that's
out.
not
But anyway,
helpful.
it's just interesting. Good
Yeah,
on
and I
him.
have
Good on him
to
for getting in.
I have to go back and just question the introduction to Gene Simmons because you opened up with him as this famous old dude. Does that does that mean that he's famous for being old, or like
No, he's the bassist. I'm sorry. I have no offense to old dudes out there. He's the bassist of Kiss, right? Yeah, there's your Kiss reference. If
And
you guys
now
don't
he's
know who
old.
Kiss is, you should definitely do your own research on Kiss. I don't want to give you any false info on Kiss. The band. It's a band.
Nice.
Yeah, and just to round it off, the graph is looking to integrate into Bitcoin, Polkadot, and the other layer one blockchains. So the graph has gotten some hype recently, was mooning like crazy. People are saying, why do I need this project? It's pointless. Some might say those are just people trying to, get cheaper graph again. Looks like they will be integrating into the other major chains, so I see that as mildly bullish. But then again, they just did go on a almost 200% run over the last couple of days. So
Well, I dare say people bought into the rumor, and if you get in those telegrams, you can get a little snippet of this information before it becomes public or broadcasted. And I think the price is already factored in for this news. So I dare say, if I was a betting man, I reckon that would be what's happened, because that was a big run up.
it's a very good tip, though. Getting, I feel like most people do not know or understand that
Mm.
when we're reading this article now, and that should, I don't know, that should be said from us, that any like news bullish things that we're reading now, there's a really good chance that people already knew about this before the article came out. And especially people on the team might have told some of their friends, might have done a little trading on the side. I don't know, maybe had like an Ethereum wallet that wasn't directly attached to the dev team. For example, just be safe out there, guys. Not financial advice.
I do have.
no? I mean, I wouldn't call that. I would say that's good financial advice. Be careful, guys. Be careful.
I do want to take us down a trip. Sorry, I do want to take us down memory lane.
Yeah,
Um,
let's
if
go.
everyone remembers one of our first gem videos that we done, I think it was like the second one. Marsh and I, we sat there, we talked about yield.app, and mate, this one has been going off. Like this is sort of what we look into. We look into projects that not only will pump initially, because I know a lot of our community love to get on the pump, and but more importantly, has that long-term value, right? And we've seen crypto.com uh, screw it all up for the community to the point where people are burning cars. It was at SXP, but anyway, yield.app sort of came in at an excellent time. Nobody really had that on-ramp, off-ramp option. They didn't really have that on-ramp, off-ramp option, and I have to sort of update myself on the news. But congrats to the Adapt crypto members that got in on yield.app and are still holding, because now that is this was originally launched on TrustSwap, so I'm trying to remember the price, but I'm pretty sure it was around the 8 cent mark, and now that's did spike up to $1.40 for there. So congrats to the guys in Adapt community for getting in on that one and holding as well, because there were some trying times there. You see it pump heaps and then it comes back down, and it's definitely paid off this right now. And I dare say that they've had, I'm pretty sure because they prolonged. Sorry, the second phase was the on ramp. So you can put in your own USDT into their wallet stuff, but they didn't have fiat currency into cryptocurrency. I think it's around this time that I meant to be. Yeah, thanks Will for the update. 9 cents. So there you go. That's well over a 10x. Oh, there Candy saying 7 cents. So either way, you just made money. I'm just really happy. The long term sort of stuff there. And Nord was another one I forgot about. We tried to connect with the developers to sort of just work with the team, but being a small community, you don't really get looked at for this sort of stuff. But even Nord's doing well. It was sitting around. I think it was a much cheaper price. So IDO did really well. But that one's come along now. That's a cheeky 6x there. I think Royale Finance. Let's have a look.
Seeing a similar pattern with both of those coins, that they would sort of drop and then wiggle around for a little bit, and it wasn't until everybody completely sort of spaced out that they mooned.
And guys, you got to remember here, what we're talking about is basically what we're saying is that Adapt Crypto is an undervalued gem. We're undiscovered as of yet, but as soon as people get on this train, we're going to the moon.
And then we have Royale.finance, Royale. So this is one of the ones, we talked about as well. It hasn't done as well as some of our other projects. However, it's done relatively enough. This is one of the ones where I mentioned in my summary that you've got to really look, once you've done the launch, right, you've got to check to see if they deliver what they promise. And unfortunately, people will release a token before they release the utility for the token, right? So, and if they don't keep their holders engaged, they will lose that that value within of the community. And that the subsequent effect of that is the token price will drop. So I'm very interested to get an update as to if these guys have released any games, because there are a gaming sort of more gambling sort of platform. And if they have, all they need is a few good games that people would love to throw a bit of money into, and this thing would probably go off. But it's easy to say that when we're in a bull run, right? Like everything's sort of going up. But I'll take it nonetheless. We've done really well. Good work, guys. We can all go home.
Good times.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I want to talk about there.
Some of these, I got to admit, I wish I had kept more moon bags for some of these projects. But it's okay. It's okay. Made gains elsewhere, so it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. We're gonna tell you too. You don't have to tell it to yourself. It's okay. It's okay, Marsh.
You don't have to make every single coin
we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
I feel it too, man. I feel it too.
But let's throw it out to the community there. If you guys, there wasn't a lot of views today, so if you guys have anything you want us to talk about, any observations that you've been noticing within the market, I do want to share one of my observations while you guys are typing up your questions, and that I think there is the Binance chain. I believe is going to explode. Now, I'm not saying BNB is going to absolutely start mooning, but what I'm starting to see amongst some of the developers, if not all of them, no, definitely all of them, but a lot of the developers right now are looking at deploying code on Binance chain, the Binance Smart Chain, rather than Ethereum, purely because of gas prices. These gas prices are absolutely destroying DeFi, not destroying, but it's destroying more new money coming in. And I'm sure someone could bring up a total value locked chart up for me and prove me wrong. But what I'm saying is that they're losing that monopoly at the moment, and it is very easy to migrate over to the Binance chain or deploy new projects. It's not quite, but it's almost a copy and paste. They're going to learn, I think it's called React, is the coding program that they have to learn. But it is very easy, and I dare say there will be a lot of copy and paste of projects with maybe a new sticker on top for people deploying projects. So watch this space. I know there's a lot of projects being made right now, and there may be a lot of utility for the tokens on the Binance chain. In fact, here's a fun fact for you. If you have a look at the Pancake code, you can actually see the words Uniswap in there, because it was literally a copy and paste, and they forgot to change the word Uniswap to Pancake Swap. So you can go check that yourselves.
They just flipped that flapjack. That's I heard somebody say somewhere on the internet that Vitalik wants Ethereum to be a whale chain, and that's starting to sound more and more logical to me. It's a special club now for special people that can afford to spend $100+ on a swap, and if that's too much money for you, then maybe you're in the wrong game. That's the impression that I'm getting personally. Like, $100 too expensive for you? Oh, sorry, bye.
That's a huge problem.
On that note, I did want to go ahead and just interact with the chat a little bit. Thanks. Quick shout out to Crypto Cavalier for dropping this tip in there. We have mentioned it once or twice before. Oh, yeah. sirens, thank you, air horn. But she wanted us to discuss how using wrapped ether can help reduce gas fees when you're doing Uniswap transactions. Have you guys ever done that before?
100%. I do it most of the time actually because it's faster, and when I'm getting in on those, the launch hype, I want every 1%er makes all the difference.
Yep, joining the 1%. For you guys that don't know or don't use DEXs a lot, wrapped ether is the tokenized version of Ethereum. Ethereum being the native asset. I'm sorry, ether being the native asset on Ethereum. And the reason why using WETH, wrapped ETH on a decentralized exchange to make swaps cheaper and faster is because when you do the swaps, there are a couple of sets of transactions that need to happen when you do your transaction, and using wrapped ether cuts out an extra step, 2 extra steps if we're talking about going from ether to wrapped ether to your altcoin and then back to whatever else when you eventually change it back. So it cuts out that extra step, so you use less network resources, and that cuts down a good 25 to 40% of your gas fees.
I mean, it does make sense. I see on Uniswap that it's wrapping your ether, but I still don't understand why. Like, if ether's the native asset, wouldn't you want to swap with ether? Wouldn't that be the cheapest one? Wouldn't wrapping make the code more complicated?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, but if we go back to the ERC20 standard and you take a look at the components, Ether is not ERC20 compliant.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the
so
thing.
it's legacy system. Interesting.
And Uniswap plays a part in there too, doesn't it? Because that's their token. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Uniswap will only swap between different types of ERC20 compliant tokens. You can only swap different tokens, and then it'll unwrap it back to Ether at the end of the transaction.
Okay, yeah, that just blew my mind. It has to ERC20ify itself, even though it is the king of all ERC20s. It's kind of ironic, actually, huh?
Big Daddy ETH can't hang with the tokens.
But if you like that cookie, guys, give us a thumbs up there, maybe a subscribe if you're new. We do try to keep you guys informed so you guys can make the best decisions within the space, and hopefully you guys can save money as well as make money with the information that we provide. If you're new, I implore you guys to get in the Telegram and interact with some of the traders. Cryptocurrency can be a very lonely space when you're, in the normies sort of world. Whereas you've got, a whole Telegram with the people that you can talk about this sort of stuff. Talk about your favorite shat coin and as to why it's going to make 100x tomorrow, so they all claim. But
wait, you got a coin that's going to make 100x tomorrow? Goody, can you tell me what it is?
Yeah, mate. I think it was called Verge.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that one.
Quick, guys, I need a 1x in 24 hours. Somebody show it to me.
Somebody give me a 1x. I need it. Yeah, Dojira, if you know.
I do love Dojira. I'm still holding.
Me too, man.
And unfortunately, gas prices are a killer. Unfortunately, but that's okay. Do we have anything from the community? Do they want us to talk about anything? Really six. I applied to. Okay, they're just having a conversation amongst themselves. So let's wrap it up there, guys. Just want to say thank you very much for joining us today. We come to you around about I don't know what time it is for you guys, but 1800 my time every single day. And if there's anything that you guys want us to talk about, so let us know, and we'll do a deep dive and be able to share this information, this vital information that you guys need to be able to 20 extra gains. Not guaranteed, not financial advice, but hopefully we can help you out somehow.
We really appreciate you guys out there, though. We're looking at the same number of concurrent viewers as likes, so we really appreciate. Wow. We our base is maybe still a little bit small, but they're dedicated, and I think that should show everybody watching this on replay or at all. Adapt. Few understand. You're very early. You're very early.
Well, if you guys don't mind, I know we were talking about wrapping this up, but I do want to drop one quick little nugget from Andre.
Alpha?
Watch.
Ooh. Is this 100x? This is 100x.
I wouldn't call it 100x. Maybe like,
I'll settle for 50.
maybe. Well, hang on. Let me go ahead and steal the screen share real quick.
Go for it. Oh, lucky you guys hung around.
Let's see. There we go. All right. Can you guys see this real quick?
Yep.
I got the DeFi dashboard up on here.
Is DeFi Llama a thing?
Ooh.
DeFi Llama is a thing. So if you guys haven't heard of this, this is a DeFi dashboard made by the community. DeFi Llama. Llamas are, you know, kind of the development team that is associated with Curve. But they've created a dashboard here of the top projects, pretty much everything in the DeFi space associated with Ethereum, on this nice, handy little dashboard. And I've been using this to kind of look at new projects, something that can kind of pop up, anything that has potential. And the way I usually look at it is just by taking this little 7-day change and go ahead, let me see who's at the top. All right.
Ooh.
So we see Cover is popping up there. Huge weekly change on TVL. Rari Capital. If you guys haven't heard of RGT, Rari Governance Token, y'all been living under a rock because this thing has been skyrocketing just straight to the moon. But one of the projects that I've been really bullish on lately, and I've been kind of talking about a little bit in the Telegram, alpha drops there all the time, guys. Make sure you check it out. Is Unit Protocol, the duck. Mighty Ducks flying at you. But take a look. The 230% gains is something to be proud of. But, you know, kind of digging into the weeds here and diving deep into the rabbit hole, Unit Protocol is a kind of like a maker, like a maker DAO. You get to deposit your stagnant assets onto the protocol, and it lets you mint a stablecoin called USDP for your assets. And I thought that was cool. And, you know, just another kind of a stablecoin protocol. But something that I found out recently when, you know, deep along my dive is that you can deposit the USDP into a stablecoin pool, and guess who joined the pool?
I want to say
there you go.
Andre, yeah. So let's see, how much is this? We have, what's that? Roughly 2 billion in I'm sorry, 2 million, excuse me. Wow, math's hard. 2 million in USDP, 1.5 million in USDC, and 1 million in Tether going into this LP. And that is coming from the Yearn deployer. So big money went in about a week ago, 6 days, 8 hours ago, into this protocol.
Wow. Okay.
Which, you know, it's been flying totally under the radar, and I haven't seen many people talking about it. It has done some insane gains in the past month, and I think that once people take a look at this thing and see the potential, because they are developing up a storm, this thing's going to really rock it, and I'm super bullish on it.
Amazing.
Alpha drop over.
That is some serious alpha right there. It's worth studying these guys, and thank you for explaining Llama and this whole thing. I was like many people probably pretty confused by Andre's tweet that was just like a llama emoji
and a sushi and a pickle.
Sushi, pickle, llama, and it was like, okay, I know what the sushi is, know what the pickle is. Like, what is this llama? I'm confused. And you really have to be like a DeFi aficionado, especially in the what are we calling it? The Andre ecosystem? Andrico system?
Andrico.
Sounds Mexican.
Disciples of Cronje.
Disciple, that's definitely where we're at. Oh man, okay, I'm gonna get off here and maybe look into Duck right now. So thanks for that, man.
Unit protocol.
Unit Protocol, that's the one. Check it out, guys. Not financial advice, just for educational purposes only.
It's a LARP. I mean, most of
But
DeFi really
50x,
is sort
right?
of a game.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to go ahead and qualify this with not financial advice, we're looking at, you know, a minimum of a 1x here.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, it's something
So
I'm
that means
looking
it can't go
for.
down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's
If
definitely
I can't
better
make
than
gains, at least I can preserve wealth,
a
right?
less than 1x. I've been there. I've been in less than 1x coins, I got to admit.
Many times. All right, guys, no worries. We'll see you all later. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Later.
Take care, guys.